I found an Ethereum well that sacrificed for Pulsechain and PulseX. I like to do my own research and not just blindly trust what anybody says. I think many people in crypto unfortunately overlook doing your own research stuff and only trust what the YouTube influencers are saying and other people from their community who have a personal interest the price to go up, and not so pleasant facts stay in the shadow. When you invest your hard-earned money into highly volatile and speculative assets like cryptocurrencies, which can literally go to zero based on some negative news around the founder of the project, one big whale dump its back and crash the price, or algorithm that is designed to mint more tokens to defend the peg of its stablecoin and dilute everybody, causing a death spiral. You have to make sure you do proper research for that particular project, otherwise you're just gambling. Of course, there's no such thing as risk-free investment, but we are trying to minimize the risk, not remove it completely. That's how I found what's actually going on with the Hex origin address, because I wanted to have a look at this wallet, but I was unable to find literally anywhere information about which is this address in particular. While searching, I saw many other people also asking about this address and no one gave a satisfying answer. So at this moment, I remembered the good old saying, if you want something done right, do it yourself. I made a full on-chain analysis and found the truth about the Hex origin address, so if you haven't watched that video already and you want to know what's going on, you can now find out with one click and not research for hours like I did. The link will be in the description. So this is basically what I did for Pulsechain as well. I don't want to be caught off guard, so I wanted to find out who are the whales who sacrifice tens of millions of dollars and will get these massive bags of PLS. But before I start, I want to ask you to watch very carefully as I'm going to dive very deep, and if you missed something, the rest is just not gonna make a lot of sense to you. I found very interesting stuff and I think you're gonna enjoy this video. Now, as you can see, the top 3 wallets sacrificed around 10% of the total amount, and they will hold a substantial amount of tokens that would be more than 10% of the total supply, simply because of the volume bonuses and multipliers and all that. We don't have official information on how much will be the total supply, so I don't know the exact percentage they will hold, but it will be big enough to crush the price quite bad if they want to. So in this case, it's good to know more about them, isn't it? Well, let's start off with the first one. So the first one, the only thing we can see here is that this is a Hex whale, as the biggest amount he sacrificed comes from Hex, and it's around $29.4 million. Apart from that, we can't find out anything else about this wallet. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll copy this wallet address and I will go to Etherscan so I can really dive deep and find as much as I can. What we can see right away is that this wallet has less than $1,000 worth of tokens right now, and that should immediately tell you that this wallet is some kind of secondary wallet that is being used primarily for specific transactions. If we have a look at his last transaction, which was almost half a year ago, we can see that he transferred $500,000 of USDC. If we check the transaction before that, we can see that he sold $400,000 worth of Hex, but I will open up this one because this little window shows the amount in the current value of the token, and if I click the amount here, we can see the value on the day of the transfer, which is almost $2.5 million. So that's quite a bit of Hex. If I go back, we can see multiple transactions of around $40,000, but we know that this is the amount of the current value of the token, so in reality, these transactions were worth around $500,000 each on the day of transfer. So we can say that this is definitely a Hex whale, and considering how much money went through this wallet and not having anything right now, we can also say that this wallet serves a specific purpose. If I scroll down, we can see this transfer of 16 Ether to the Pulsechain sacrifice wallet, and we can validate that on the website as the first transaction from this wallet. The next transaction is the one we are interested in, as it is the one that actually puts him in the first spot as the biggest sacrificer, because it's worth almost $30 million. If I go back to Etherscan, we can find the transaction right away. This little window gives us an estimate value of around $7.4 million, but when I open up the transaction, we can see that the estimated value on the day of transfer is almost $30 million. And that begs the question, who is this guy and how does it have so much Hex? Does this come from the Hex origin address, or is just a whale? I wanted to find out exactly what's going on, because I want to make my decisions based on as much information as possible about a particular project and dive as deeper as I can, rather than just hope everything is fine and the inside will be as good as what we can see outside. So for that purpose, I'm gonna go to check its first transaction and see where all this started from. So we can see that his first transaction was more than 2 years ago, and he received 0.1 Ether from this wallet. In the second transaction, he received 1 Wei, which is basically worth nothing. So I don't know what this actually is, but I'll leave it for now. What we can see after that is that he actually interacted with the Hex contract and he staked 143 million Hex tokens, or around $5.7 million. He staked them for a couple of days and he did that multiple times. What is more interesting is where this Hex came from. It's gotta come from somewhere, right? Here I wanna clarify that I'm not an expert and there could be a simple explanation for this, but what I know is that everything is recorded on the blockchain, no matter if your coins are going out or coming into your wallet, so they can't just appear in your wallet out of nowhere without any trace. So the most logical thing I could have done is to check the transactions that are going in, right? Despite seeing that they have nothing to do with Hex, so that's what I did. I opened up the wallet that sent this 0.1 Ether to check it out, and the first thing that I saw is the $350,000 worth of tokens in it. So I was like, okay, this starts to make sense now, because the other wallet was clearly a secondary wallet and maybe this is the main one. I checked what tokens he holds and I saw that all the value is in USDC. So I was like, okay, maybe this is not the one I'm looking for. So let me actually do the same thing and find out where this money originally came from. Again, I went to check the first transaction and I saw a very similar thing. So basically, this wallet was receiving Ether from different addresses and selling it right away shortly after. Here, he bought Ether on Poloniex, which is a centralized exchange, and then sent it to his wallet, which eventually, if we go to the next page, we can see that he sent 37 Ether to this wallet 1692 days ago. And if we check this wallet, we can find the exact transaction of 37 Ether that later on were sent all together with another Ether to another wallet, and this wallet sent it to other wallets and so on. So the more I dig in, the more it looks like a web of wallets that most likely some kind of software is managing. I know it's a bit confusing, but I'm gonna go back to where we originally came from, and that is this wallet that was receiving Ether and then selling it right away. So I wanna check what is this wallet that was sent this first Ether, and here things starts to get very interesting. This wallet received 1000 Ether in 2 transactions from 2 different wallets and sent it out in 3 transactions to 3 different wallets. I know it's a bit complicated, but I want you to pay attention so you don't get lost. I'm gonna check the wallet from the first transaction again, and we stumble across the exact same thing. 2 transactions of 1000 Ether from 2 wallets coming in and 3 transactions to 3 wallets going out. Again, without wasting more time, I'll go to check the wallet from the first transaction. I don't know if you are surprised at this point, but I was definitely not. In fact, this continues for exactly 40 addresses, and that convinced me even more that this is some kind of software, especially since they're all done on the exact same day. Of course, I'm gonna speed up all this and not show you every single one because I don't want to waste your time, and I will jump straight to where all this started from. So this is the first address that all these transactions led us to. So we can see it's completely empty right now, and by the way, all these wallets haven't been used for years. This one in particular made its last transaction 5.5 years ago, and it's been abandoned since then. But anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is where this wallet got this Ether from. So, are you ready? And... probably not what you expected, right? Well, at least I was expecting to see a wallet with a massive bag of ETH. And just to clarify what this nano pool actually is, this is a mining pool where you can mine different coins like Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Zcash and so on. So basically, the first bit of Ether in this whole chain of wallets comes from a miner, maybe. Or maybe not. Unfortunately, we can't say for sure because there are just so many wallets, some of them with thousands of transactions, and it's practically almost impossible to trace all of them and figure it out. In my opinion, it's very unlikely that all this ETH is coming from mining, simply because at the end of the chain we have thousands of ETH, and here in the beginning it's been mined less than 10 ETH. So to anyone who is watching right now and thinking that the biggest sacrifice on Pulsechain is probably some of the richer hearts wallets, I think with this analysis we can say that nothing gives us a hint that this might be the case. Of course, we don't know who created this whole system of wallets and if its purpose is to hide something rather than increase the security of someone's funds, but I didn't find anything that we can even speculate that this wallet has something to do with Richard Hart. I don't know how good or bad this is, as we know that he holds the majority of the supply of Hex, and many people believe this is why the Hex price performed the way it did. And if you are now like, hold on, you say in your title that you found Ethereum early investor in Pulsechain and PulseX, and yep, that's exactly what I found. I didn't clickbait you, that's just the beginning. Things start to get even more interesting, so I'm gonna go back to the Pulsechain sacrifice leaderboard, and everything that we explored so far was for the first address. So let's have a look at the second one now. When I open up this address, we can see that it has only one transaction of 10,000 ETH. We got nothing else we can find here, so I'll copy the wallet address and I'll go straight to Etherscan to check what's going on there. Right off the bat, we can see that this wallet holds almost $26 million worth of ETH and over $100,000 worth of other tokens tokens. If we check the tokens, we can see that the vast majority of this amount comes from this SNX token, and it holds less than $500 in hex. If we scroll down to see the transactions, we can see that occasionally this wallet is selling quite a bit of Ether, and on top of that, the wallet is still active to these days. Apart from the Ether, the address made a couple of transactions of USDC recently, 3.5 million here, 70 million here, 10 million here, and we can see that he is also into Hedron, as he made a couple of claims, which means he must have more than $500 in hex, right? In fact, if I scroll down and check this transaction where he interacted with the hex smart contract, we can see that he used to hold $38 million worth of hex. So we know that this wallet has a big interest in Richard Heart's ecosystem. So let's see what else we can find. If I pull up the full list of transactions from here, I scroll down and we can see that this wallet also sacrificed for PulseX. Interestingly enough, he is ranked number 2 on PulseX sacrifice leaderboard as well. If I click on view transactions, we can see his one and only transaction of 7,777 ETH. So he's definitely a well within all of Richard Heart's projects, but we don't end up here. If I go back to Etherscan and go to the last page to see its oldest transactions, what we see right off the bat is this insane transaction of 200,000 Ether. So he's not just a well within Richard Heart's ecosystem, but in Ethereum as well. We can see that the very first transaction also comes from the same address, so we're gonna go and check it. So we can see these two transactions, the exact same amount that are going out, and that basically these 200,000 Ether are coming from another wallet. So I'm gonna check this wallet as well. And what do we have in here? We have a Genesis wallet that transferred 400,440 Ether to this wallet. If you don't know what a Genesis wallet is, basically, if you participated in the Ethereum ICO, which was way back in 2014, that very much reminds me of Pulsechain Sacrifice, as Ethereum actually launched 1 year later in July 2015. So if you participated in the ICO back then, you were going to receive your tokens from the Genesis wallet. So this guy split his bag into two, and the first one leads us to the address we actually came from, that sacrifice for Pulsechain and PulseX. And if we check what he did with his second half, we land at this wallet that is being used again as secondary wallet. And if we check the wallet that all the Ether is going to, we end up to this wallet that holds $85 million worth of hex, almost 1 million in Hedron, and again this SNX token that he got in his other wallet as well. So based on this, and that the Ether is basically coming from one place to two wallets, and we can also see this transaction of 400 Ether from the other wallet with ETH to this wallet, we can assume that this is one person that he basically split his Ether into two wallets. It is also very easy to be traced, there's nothing suspicious, and nothing gives us any reason to think that this wallet might be trying to hide something. So I can definitely say with more certainty that this is just a normal investor who is just a whale within Richard Heart's ecosystem. There is really nothing interesting we can find in this wallet, apart from saying that he holds massive bags of hex and Hedron in this wallet, and he is ranked number 2 on Pulsechain and PulseX leaderboard with his other wallet. But one thing we should definitely point out and keep in mind, because I think it's very bullish for Pulsechain and PulseX, is that he holds multiple millions in ETH and other tokens, and apart from potential fresh money coming into the ecosystem from people who haven't sacrificed, this is one of the wallets that we can assume it will eventually buy up more when Pulsechain launch, and he got quite a bit of cash. But I wanna quickly have a look at the third and last wallet we are gonna look at today, because there's quite a bit of interesting information we can find. So if I open up the wallet, we can see that it made only one transaction of around $19 million, like wallet number 2, with the only difference that it sacrificed hex instead of ETH. Of course, I'll check the wallet on Etherscan, because there's nothing really we can see here. So here's the wallet on Etherscan, and we can see right away that it holds around $20,000 worth of tokens, which is really not much considering that he sacrificed $19 million. We can see that apart from Ether, he holds almost $14,000 in Hedron and over $2,000 in this Pulse Dogecoin, which we can see that he basically claimed for free in these transactions. But this doesn't really matter. What matters is this next transaction, in which we can see that he staked almost $21 million current value, and at the time this stake started, the value was more than $76 million. So even though he doesn't have any hex in his wallet, he actually owns a pretty big bag of hex. So during this time, he was just basically staking hex and accumulating as much as he can, sometimes in big chunks, sometimes fractionalized. But if you're wondering where all this started from, I'm just gonna go to the last page and see what's going on. So we can see see this first transaction from HitBTC, which is a centralized exchange. So he basically bought some Ethereum from the exchange and sent it over to his wallet. Then we can see that he was interacting with this smart contract on a daily basis, which is basically this CER token, which is not even listed on CoinMarketCap, and I looked their website and it really looks like a scam to me. But anyway, I don't know what he was doing, but probably he didn't make a big hit with this project. He kept interacting with this smart contract for quite some time, probably staking, until we actually stumble across where he got his first hex from. He is basically in this project since its early days. As we can see, he claimed his hex from Bitcoin. There are 5 transactions in total, and he didn't receive a huge amount of hex at that time, but we can see that on the very next day he staked some of it. Also, he claimed some more hex with Ethereum, and we can see he did that multiple times, and he also staked a big chunk of it. But one thing I want to point out about this wallet is that he received quite a bit of Ether from this particular address, and if I open it up to see what's this address, right off the bat we can see that it made over 100,000 transactions. The last transaction was 1.5 years ago, and I think it's pretty clear that this wallet is being connected to a smart contract or something like that, because it's just impossible all these transactions to be done manually by a person in a single day. So I don't know what this is, but wallet number 3 was receiving around 400 Ether occasionally from this address. So we can argue how suspicious this is and what exactly could it be. But one more interesting thing that I found is that wallet number 3 that sacrificed for Pulsechain also sacrificed for PulseX. On the PulseX leaderboard, he is actually ranked 5th with a very modest $14.4 million. So in conclusion of all this, we can say that the top 3 wallets that sacrificed for Pulsechain are really into Richard Hart's ecosystem. They hold primarily Hex, Hedron and Ethereum and sacrifice for both Pulsechain and PulseX, and we can expect to put even more money into Pulsechain when the mainnet goes live. I think it's really beneficial for everyone to understand what's behind these top wallets and throw some light on their past so we can know what to expect if there's something dodgy. So with few exceptions, everything seems pretty clear and traceable, and I didn't find anything that we can really worry about. Unfortunately, some people don't understand why I'm doing the content that I do, and when I make a video about something that it's not necessarily the best thing you want to talk about if you want to pump your bags of PLS, or in other words, something that is considered negative about the project, they start hating me in the comments and say that I spread FUD. Guys, I'm literally trying to cover everything about Pulsechain and provide information from as many perspectives as possible, whether it's something that I like or I don't like. I'm not trying to twist anything and make it look negative so I can damage the project. I provide the information as it is, only backed by facts. I didn't find anything too crazy within the top 3 wallets that sacrificed for Pulsechain, and I share it with everyone, so anyone who is interested will see that. I'm sorry if sometimes the content is not positive or bullish, as you would most likely prefer to be. However, proper risk management cannot be done if you know only half of the story, so I'll be here and do my best to analyze as much information as possible. This video really cost me a lot of time to research, and if you appreciate my effort, I'll be very thankful if you gave the like button a gentle tap, because that will help my channel a lot. Please let me know down in the comments if you actually enjoyed this video and if you would like to see a similar one about PulseX. However, as I said in the beginning, I made an on-chain analysis about the hex origin address as well, and you can find everything you want to know about this address in the video that will pop on the screen. Of course, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any future videos. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.